Good morning, thanks for watching Dunsmore Moving Dirt. Doing a little mechanicking today, still doing some service work. I got my pulley off and it goes right up here. And I got the tensioner held up with my ratchet and a piece of wire wrapped around that over there. And praying that that don't break while I got my hand down here. Because if it does, I'll probably say ouch real loud. So here's the pulley that I pulled off. And when I was trying to figure out where my squeak was, before I took it off, I'd marked it in some places so I might could see if it was sticking or spinning or whatever. And that little rascal's turning so fast that you can't see that mark on there. So about the only thing I found, I mean, it turns a little loose. It kind of feels rough, but not bad. But I noticed these ribs here are just pretty dadgum sharp. So I'm thinking maybe that belt might have been slipping in that pulley just a little bit, enough to make it squeak. It never did squeak very long, but just when you first started up. And like I say, that little rascal now is a turning when that engine's a turning. So I don't know how many revolutions it would make in an hour, but times 6,300 and some odd hours, and that's a lot of revolutions that little rascal's making. So anyway, this one, you can tell it's a little bit fatter than ribs there. So, and I mean, it turns, and I never did hear it squealing. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put the new one on there and bolt it up, put the belt back and start it up. If it don't squeak, we did good. If it still squeaks, we'll go to plan B, which I don't know what plan B is yet, but surely we'll have a plan B. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bolt that and back up there, and it's got a spacer that goes in the back of it, and then a long bolt and a spacer that goes in the front of it. So we'll see what happens when I get it back on there and start. Okay, got everything hooked back up. Belt's on there, the best that I know it is. But the only thing I know to do is start it up. See if something flies off, quit squeaking or squeaks. Only thing I miss about the older style ones, you could turn the engine over and not start it. And I guess when you hit the starter on this thing, it's starting whether you want it to or not. In time it starts, if something was to go wrong, time you get it shut off, if that belt wasn't on there right, it'd be spaghetti. But I don't know, because it won't even crank the starter unless you put in the codes and all that good stuff. Okay, here goes something. Would be nice if this thing wasn't in the way. Well, I guess you can take it off, but took it off, I'll probably never get it back on. Still squeaks. It may be that tensioner pulley. I am getting all wrapped up. Okay, I think I finally figured out what it was. It's this belt tensioner. I pulled it off, and someone here might hear it better, but I can put it up to my ear and turn it, and it feels a little rough. And I imagine the time you put that belt tensioner on there, that's probably my squealing. So I just got back. They had one in stock, so I got this one. It's nice and quiet, so I'm fixing to put that back on there, start it up, and I bet it's quiet as a Singer sewing machine. So I'm just going to leave that pulley that I put on there, that idler pulley, because the other one had over 6,300 hours on it, and it was getting narrow and sharp in the middle, so probably helped my belts last a little bit longer. So anyway, fixing to put that on, we'll start it up and see if that'll fix it. Okay, got the O-ring fixed, as you can see. No leaks. It didn't squeal when I started it up, so I may have that problem fixed. And you always want to keep your stuff out from in front of your blade when you're raising it up and down. I thought I did, but my drop light wire got underneath the blade and it cut it, so got that fixed. And then I have a habit of piling everything on the track when I'm working, and my little box of O-rings fell over. They're rubber, they bounced and didn't break if they was glass. So anyway, got that two little problems fixed. So I was going to change my antifreeze. I can do that while I've got that open, then work on these hoses behind that deal. And the weather stays pretty. It's the sun finally come out. I may try to get this thing outside and get it washed and clean the cab up. And still got a little ways to go, but we'll get it done. So we'll let y'all see some of that later on today. Okay, back out here on the dozer. I thought I was going to have to move some equipment this morning for a customer, but that got postponed till tomorrow, so I'm going to try to salvage some of the day and get done what I can on this rest of the day. I told you I fixed this hose, and what I did, I just put a seal in there. So started it up, nothing leaked. It don't look like it was a bad leak, and but that O-ring, it didn't feel very bad, that flat place seal, but it didn't feel bad. But I didn't see no notches in it, but you never can tell. So I'm gonna put the brace back across there, and I'm gonna, got my buckets down here, I'm gonna drain the antifreeze out and change it out. They recommended it 6,000 hours, so I'm gonna do that. That's the drain plug right there, then that hose is on the end of it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but mechanic friend of mine showed me a deal that he had, and I don't know if he made it or if he bought one, but I just went and got me a socket, and I cut a few grooves in that, and that's supposed to go around that deal where you can't look down there and put it on at the same time. You just got to do it by feel. So I'm going to try that. Might be easier than trying to take a wrench and hook it on them arms and bend it, but got my buckets down there ready. So we're going to start draining water, and I promise I won't put nothing else up on this track. I don't think it'll hold anything else. So I think I need to organize whenever I get that dozer out here. I've got stuff piled up everywhere. Takes me 30 minutes to find something I want when I need to find it. So anyway, we'll let you see that as we're underway. Okay, got the coolant changed and everything, and I couldn't ever figure out why that, when it was draining, it wasn't draining very fast, and like it's under pressure, and I kept running this screwdriver up in there and thinking there was dirt or something up in there, and it never would drain any faster. So when I was checking it to be sure the valve had shut it off, I looked up in the end of the hose and I could see a little old hole just this big right here is that screwdriver. And then I kind of felt around, I felt a little tab and I pulled it, and what I'd done at some time year or so ago, that hose just goes up in the belly pan and lays there. Well, it fills full of dirt, then you got to clean the dirt out of it to drain the oil. So I'd put a little plug in there. What it was the top of a battery terminal. When you buy batteries, you know, they got that red and black on each one, and it fit perfectly up in there. So I pushed that up in there, and it still had just a little bit of a hole in there, but not enough for dirt. So anyway, that's why the water wasn't draining out very fast. So got that back in there. So I'll just have to remember that 6,000 hours from now, or when I get ready to drain the water again. So, but because I know I'll forget between now and then. So, and then right here, I don't know what happened. This little old brace here has never been off this bulldozer, except when they's putting it together, I guess. And I had this little old cooler undone. It bolts up right here, and it just opens up. So when you get ready to clean the radiator and all that other stuff, this is the cooler and that's the radiator, this is the cooler, and then on the other side I think it's just all radiator. Anyway, when I got ready to push that up there, it wouldn't fit up in there, so something had moved a little bit when I undid this brace. Of course, everything's on rubber as far as that is. And then I went to prying like that to line the hole up. Well, then that's not the place to pry, but it was too late. I thought of it after I looked up there, and I bent that in and fans right there, but it didn't. The vanes are right here, so I didn't hit one of them. But anyway, that's why when I started it up, I raised it up a little bit and loosened these off to see if anything had moved. But it didn't, like it was before I'd undone that. 'Cause when you usually take that off, you can just undo it and take it and just push it up there with your hand. But something just gibbed a little bit, I guess. Something shifted or the dirt in there anyway. But anyway, I got that back. It's screwed back up and the valve's shut and it's not leaking. And I'll have to recheck that water once the thermostat's open up in it. It may take a little bit more. So far that's done. I guess the next on the agenda is drop this fan down and look at them hoses and probably change them out. I didn't even know they was leaking until that one day I undid it to get that mud out and kind of clean the radiator up from the outside, and I seen them lines was leaking, and going to go back a different way. Well, I'll show you. They changed stuff up on you. The lines that are on there has a little swivel on there. There's a swivel where they go, and this one's open. I'm probably going to take him back, probably save $100 or so. The hoses that are on there has this on the hose end, and then where it goes into a pump, it has the female to fit this, and this is a swivel. It just sits there and swivels back and forth. So when I went in there and called them, I said I needed the two hoses. Both of these was leaking where it screws on the pump. And when they made the hoses, I thought that this part would be on this end. Well, it's not. That's an adapter there. But then I wanted to replace the female part, because what happens, these hoses sit, every time you open the radiator, the grill guard, these hoses pull. And when that's sitting in the female deal, it'll pull it to the side a little bit, and after a while it just sits there and runs at a little bit of an angle, and that stuff wears. So when they made them hoses, I got hoses with fittings on there. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And they said, well, we can order the other fittings. I said, well, that ain't going. So I ordered these to screw into here. Then I said, well, I want the female end too that goes in the pump. Well, they looked and they don't make them no more. So I would, if I do it like the it's rigged up right now. I had to put this fitting in one end of this hose and put this male inside of that female end, and it's probably worn up so it was still leaked. So they say you just do away with that now and just put regular pipe fittings and screw the hose up. So, which I like that better, because them swivel ends eventually they go leaking. So, but I told them I'd keep them till I see what I needed to do. So, and the parts people didn't know it till they looked it up, and they said they can't even buy them ends with the swivels in there anymore, the female ends. So I'm not going to put all that up. I'm just going to try to put it, and I asked the mechanic there why they do that, and they said that way that don't turn, the fitting don't turn while you're tightening up. It's got that swivel on there. Well, I think there's room I can hold the fitting to keep from turning while you're tightening everything up. So I'm going to try it like they said to, and if it don't work, and then if it does work, I'll just take them 2 fittings back and save a little money on them fittings. And the fittings that are on there, I'll have to just take them off, and they're just junk because they won't be good no more, because the hoses will be all pipe thread in. So anyway, I guess that's what we're going to do next. I don't know if we'll get that done today or maybe tomorrow when I get in from moving out equipment. But we'll let you see some of what we're doing tomorrow probably. Bye.